Welcome to the Pure Performance Cafe. May I take your order?
Yes, I would like a shot of Pure Performance, please.
Coming right up.
Welcome to another episode of Pure Performance Cafe, again in Linz, or still in Linz, because it's my fourth recording today. Now I'm sitting here with Reinhard Brandstetter. Any nickname that we have for you? Because I said Martin, he's Glatzkopf for me.
Glatzkopf, no, people call me Brandi.
Brandi, here we go, yeah, because the last name. So Brandi, what you probably are most well known for right now, especially if I Google for Hybris and Dynatrace, then I find a lot of blog posts from you. I find your fast pack on Dynatrace Hybris. I find probably a lot of other material too. So maybe enlighten us. A, what is Hybris for people that don't know who or what Hybris is? And why did you build and what did you build for making life of Hybris customers easier with Dynatrace?
Yeah, the story is quite easy. Like almost immediately after I joined Dynatrace, like almost 7 years ago, I got introduced to Hybris, which was back then a small e-commerce, almost a startup based in Munich. Mm-hmm. And turned out that back then Hybris as an e-commerce startup and Dynatrace almost as an APM startup had the same culture internally. So, and we started working together, and it turned out that we really, really fit together on all levels, not only on the technical level, that e-commerce and APM are basically like a perfect match. You can't do e-commerce today without any APM solution. Yeah. And since the people were really nice, we had a lot of fun, did a lot of stupid things, had a lot of customer success. So we started working, continued working for almost 6 years now. And we did like performance management for e-commerce, right? And we saw a lot of customers didn't know about APM. They didn't know where to start and where to go. And the e-commerce experts and the APM experts from Dynatrace worked together with Hybris and the customers and created a really out-of-the-box solution and a standard how to monitor e-commerce solutions, right? And it's great success. Hybris is using it internally, and the customers love it, right?
Yeah. It's actually interesting that you say that the Hybris customers initially didn't really know about performance monitoring, even though performance, as we all know from all the studies and the blog posts, is key for good conversion rate and user experience. So even though that it was, or maybe 7 years ago, it was not that well known, we didn't have all the studies, but obviously now everybody knows performance goes hand in hand with success on e-commerce. And thanks to your work and obviously the joint work, we have what we call a fast pack that basically provides. And I was just looking at it here on. If you Google, I think you just need to Google Dynatrace fast pack and Hybris, and you will find it. Where is it now? I have it here somewhere. Here we go. So you created some great dashboards in collaboration with Hybris and also with the customers that they have been using, and came up with.
Exactly. Yeah. Back then, like. Performance was always a topic. It was actually a big problem for Hybris customers, right? They ran something, they created the servers, they operated the servers, they customized the Hybris platform, and then they just ran it. And back then, actually, most of the customers just did simple things like, okay, we need system monitoring, right? Mm-hmm. And if a problem comes up, they just did like profiling and dig into the code and call the Hybris experts. And when we came up with the first customer solutions, where we said, well, okay, you had this problem, let's dig into that. There was such a great experience that they said, well, this is really great. So really had to educate the users that monitoring is more than just looking at your JVM, memory metrics, and CPU and network. You actually need to go into the Hybris platform as it's a customizable platform, right? That's what user did, and that's where problems occur. Yeah. And it was a great success, and I like working with customers hands-on, and all that experience with real customer environments went into the fastback. So it's not like something that we just created and which might work. Everything in there is actually based on real customer stories and Hybris expert stories, right? And every time I present it to customers nowadays, it's like, oh, this is great. When can we have it? And it's just like, okay, deploy it. It takes like 20 minutes and you're up and running, right? It's like really, really easy.
Cool. So, and also, I mean, we talked about JVM monitoring and system monitoring, but I think the key value is also our UEM monitoring, our user experience monitoring, where we see every single user on their Hybris installation, what they click and where they convert, if they not convert, where they're coming from. And that is very interesting and then tied back to performance. And you build dashboards that make it super easy to figure out who is using my shop and where do I need to optimize performance to actually increase conversion rate, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
Exactly, yeah, you're right. A lot of customers didn't even know, are there any mobile users? Like with the mobile device search, they didn't know, well, what's the mobile site or how does my site working on a mobile device? They didn't know this. They didn't know where the customers are coming from. And a funny story, a big customer, they were trying to optimize, or they found out that their Android users, for example, they have a bad performance. And they thought, okay, now we need to optimize for Android. But when we looked into the data that we provided with the Hybris AppMon solution, right, they finally found out, and this is like totally makes sense, that most of the users using Android devices actually came from Africa. It's a market. Android devices are cheaper than iPhones, so they were optimizing for Android devices, although they didn't really have a market in Africa, right? So this was like, oh my God, all the Android users are doing bad, but it was like the network latency.
That's interesting. So basically we showed them that they should not go down that route because it doesn't really help them in this case, right?
Exactly.
So they would have totally lost time and money for optimizing. Wow. Okay. So Reinhard, if somebody's out there, a Hybris customer, where can they find more about how to get actually Dynatrace on their Hybris installation? What can they do?
So there's multiple options. If they're in direct contact with Hybris, Dynatrace is part of Hybris best practices, right? So even the recommended best practices by Hybris has Dynatrace content in there. So you can just go there and there's like best practices that recommend when and how to use Dynatrace solutions. And of course, there's our community portal, our website, bit.ly/DT for Hybris, and that has full-blown documentation of the Hybris Fastback. And eventually they just download it, get a free trial, download the Fastback, deploy the Fastback. And with a little bit of guidance and following the instructions, you're up and running with a production monitoring of a full Hybris cluster within like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it doesn't take a lot more.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. We'll put the link on the page as well. So bit.ly/DT for Hybris. I think that's what it was. Perfect. Thank you. And maybe we should do also a performance clinic, which is a YouTube recording showing off like what people can actually do with the Fastback. And
definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.